Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to week number 2, day number 9 of commercial diving school. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you enjoyed, and don't forget to leave a comment down below if you have any questions or comments so I can address them in future videos. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little stuffed up, and I actually forgot to mention in a past video that I should have mentioned it like in one of my first videos, but I completely forgot about it. But one important thing to note about this particular school, and this might be a thing at other schools, is that when it comes to sick days or taking like a day off or something from school, there's just so much information and there's so much training packed down into a few 5 months, and there really is a lot of training that you can only miss like a total of 6 days. Now, whether you miss those days or not is really crucial, because yeah, you could take a day off, but you would miss so much, and you might even miss like a test or something like that, where you would have to find somebody and say, can I retake this, and make stuff up. So it's really crucial that you don't miss anything. And another thing to note is that tardies can actually count towards an absence, but it's 3 tardies equal 1 absence. And then another thing that's important to know is that one person in my class, they raised their hand and they asked, well, what about like emergencies? Like, what if like literally like a direct family member like has a medical emergency or something like that? And they said yes, that counts. Like, whatever the excuse is, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be like literally an excusable absence, they will still count it as an absence towards your 6 days. And then after that, I think they counsel you, like they'll bring you in and they'll say like, hey, like you're not meeting the basic like requirements, like, and talk to you about it. And I'm not sure where they go from there, but I know like after 6, like it's very important that you don't miss more than that, according to their catalog. Like their catalog literally says like you cannot miss more than this. So I think that they might have the authority to make a crucial decision at that point. So just be aware of that. I know I forgot to mention in a past video, but I thought that was super important to mention, because that's crazy. I never heard of a super important thing you need to be gone for, and it's, no matter what, it's inexcusable. So just know that. So anyway, into the video. We got, for breakfast this morning, waffles, ham, and eggs. And then we went to morning muster at 8 a.m. After morning muster, we jumped in the classroom, and we were pretty much all day we were doing CPR and First Aid. Before we got into the CPR and First Aid, we did take a test. Remember in my last video, I was talking about how we take a bunch of tests. Well, we took one today on construction math. We studied or were trained in like construction math the other day, and we just now today took a test on it. First thing this morning. That kind of seems like a trend. Like we'll do the whole thing, and then the next day we'll like take a test on it. So there's a lot of tests in this school. But it was pretty easy. It was literally like word questions about math. I'm not gonna give any examples or anything like that, because I want to keep their test like private for them. But just know that you'll do like basic math in that test, and it's pretty easy. So after we took the test, we were basically talking about anything that has to do with CPR. Some of my notes for the training from the PowerPoints were like, like obviously like call 911, chest compressions, like training on AEDs. And a funny thing though is we actually talked about The Office, the show The Office. There's a episode where they do CPR training, and they have like the certified lady there who's training everybody, and then Dwight, he actually like sticks a knife in the dummy and cuts him open, and then cuts the dummy's face off and puts his face on, and is like, and like it's super hilarious. And it's just, that was super hilarious to me, because if you think about it, the actors and the creators of The Office, I don't think they would have ever thought that in actual CPR training, like where people are actually getting certified in first aid and CPR, that they would be showing like a funny clip about CPR. Like they probably just, shot it as a joke or whatever, but I believe that this is not the only class that they show that funny like clip in, because it is relevant to the training. So another thing about first aid in this class is that they said that we will be receiving our cards at the end of when we graduate. So we will, after today or tomorrow, we will be certified in CPR and first aid, and it lasts 2 years. But we won't actually get the card until we graduate and we get all of our certifications at once. We did, however, already get our card for PEC safety that I was talking about in my last video. We did get that card, so that we already have. But for everything else, I guess you get it at the very end. So that's pretty cool, that we will be certified. So just know that. And then we rolled into lunch, and for today, lunch was Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, French fries, and green beans. And then after lunch, we jumped back in the classroom. We ended up taking a test on first aid. And that test was pretty easy too, because we literally just trained on it, and then we jumped into the test. So all the information was super fresh in our minds, and I think everybody pretty much aced it. I didn't get the results back yet, but I'm pretty sure I got like around 100%. And then we kind of got into practical stuff, so we were actually physically got to perform like CPR in like a situation. So they lay out on a desk like 3 dummies. The dummies are about like this long, and you got the head that kind of like tilts, and then you got the like little thorax, and it's like blue, the thorax, and then the chest kind of like cushions down when you push on it. And I never did that before. Like I've taken like first aid classes before and stuff like that when I did Dive Master, and we never like actually physically did that stuff. So it was kind of cool that in this school you actually do perform that stuff and get that training. But they'll do like a little tests, kind of scenario, kind of assessment, to make sure that you actually learn the material and you actually know what to do in a like first aid, first response emergency situation. So they'll give you like a scenario where, okay, somebody fell, what do you do? And you're supposed to say, is it safe to like enter like the space, or is it safe to be around? Because what if they got shocked? There could be an electrical current like still traveling somewhere that you could go in there and get hurt too, or it could be a gas and they could have got knocked out, and you could enter that space and you could breathe in the gas too. Somebody could have shot them, and the shooter could be around, and you don't know because they're laying down. You don't see a bullet wound until you go up to them and you turn them over. Like, is it safe to be around there? There could be the shooter is still around. So make sure that it's safe is the first thing. And then if gloves are available, make sure you don or put on gloves. and then you want to try to like wake them up, and you want to try to assess the situation. Why are they on the ground? Make sure you know that. Make sure you figure out, you shake them, you try to wake them up, try to say, hey, like, wake up, like, what's going on? Like, and if they're not responding to you, obviously you check the pulse. And then you say, shout around to people like, hey, call 911. Somebody get an AED. It's the little thing in the case. You see it in some buildings. It's it's the defibrillator, the aortic electronic defibrillator, something like that. And you yell for somebody to get one of those. And then you do, if you can't feel a pulse, and you look at their chest, see if it's rising or falling, which would indicate breathing. And if there's no chest falls or rises, there's no breathing. So you would want to go directly into chest compressions, and you do so many chest compressions, and then you do 2 breaths, and then you go back into chest compressions. And then if somebody arrives with the AED, you put the patches on them. Make sure you put them in the correct spot with the heart in the middle, and you move metal and stuff like that. There's all this training and stuff that we did today. And then what's cool about the AEDs is they will they'll prompt you. They'll actually speak and talk to you, which is something I didn't know. And it's actually pretty cool that they analyze their body and they give you a recommendation if you should administer the shock or not. And it says shock is advised, and then you'll press shock. But you make sure everybody's clear. You know how in movies where they say clear, make sure nobody's touching them because you don't want them to get shocked too. And then the paramedics arrive in this scenario that we did, and then you basically explain to the paramedics everything that you know about this situation. So that was the scenario, and the instructor who's qualified in all those types of areas, and EMS and all that kind of stuff, kind of gave us the, okay, you did a good job. Okay, so that was pretty much the entire day for what we were doing today. And I know tomorrow we're probably going to be maybe finishing up CPR, First Aid. I think we're going to do like oxygen bottles kind of stuff. And then later on in the day, we're going to learn about physics, like easy physics is what we were told. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know what's going on. I can't believe it's almost, tomorrow's Friday already almost done with week 2. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions, and I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.